dear colleagues, dear friends. It's a pleasure to meet you and see you. Unfortunately, we can meet you only in a virtual presence. I would have liked to be there in the wonderful city of Kazan, but now, due to this situation, we must talk online. Anyway, I would like to present my speech entitled Global Competence and International Mobility for New Perspectives in Teacher Education. Why I'm interested in this topic? First of all, I'm Associate Professor of Education at University of Genoa, Italy, but I'm here just because I'm the president of the ATE, the Association for Teacher Education in Europe. And for the reasons I strongly believe in intercultural and international dialogue. And I think that global competence and international mobility should be supported to increase the exchanges for both teacher educators and trainee teachers. Why it's so important for me? Just a look in the past. In 1158, the Emperor Frederick Barbarossa issued the first document, a privilege for who were traveling for study reasons, students and professors. This was the first example of international mobility. For the reason I would like to underline the importance of this document named Authentica Habita, because it highlighted the importance of sharing knowledge and experiences among students and professors from all around the world. Now, of course, we can pass from the medieval age to today. And as you can see, it's clear that our educational systems and school organizations need to have more exchanges and to develop intercultural ways. Why it's so important for a teacher, and above all for a future teacher, to have a global perspective of the world challenges? Because reservist teachers need to experience and experiment diverse learning teaching environments. In such a way, they can have and develop an international and an intercultural perspective. The idea of an international teacher education is not new. Already in 1982, Wilson said the idea of cross-cultural experience as an integral and important part of teacher education is not new. Why? Because Taylor in 1969 said clearly that teachers should be educated in a way calculated to raise the level of their awareness of what is happening to mankind in the world's contemporary circumstances. It's necessary to create learning environments able to face the global challenges. For this reason, vIFTE affirms that the current and crucial educational questions should be not child-centered, not curriculum-centered, also not competence-centered, but world-centered. This is the key point the crucial point. In what way can we create a global mentality for future teachers? As I mentioned before, through the exchanges. In particular, the exchanges should include the internship. Why? Because international internships can assist pre-service teachers in beginning to build a repository of successful strategies for learning and enhance their connection to a global learning community. In addition, you can see in the slide a high number of benefits of an international student teaching internships. There are in particular pedagogical benefits like increasing knowledge, skills, and teacher competencies, but also cultural and intercultural benefits. For instance, Tunker and Cadmore underline that students who have studied abroad bring back a wealth of knowledge and experience that causes them to see the world differently. That's a really important point. Why? Because it's necessary to develop diverse and different world's visions. Further benefits can include also to know deeply a foreign educational system and culture, the development of a range of professional skills, the learning of new instructional methods, approaches, tools, and materials. But above all, teaching abroad means to experience another culture because it has a valuable effect on pre-service teachers' professional and personal development. So the pre-service teachers can grow not only from a professional point of view, but also from a personal point of view. In that way, pre-service teachers can develop the so-called intercultural teaching. This is an important notion because it offers a robust concept to ground a framework for teaching culturally and linguistically diverse learners. So in the end, the intercultural teaching represents the competence of teachers to create a world in a classroom. So when the pre-service teachers become in-service teachers, they will be able to develop and to allow all pupils to develop plural, multifaceted learning, considering their multiple points of view. What's the central, the crucial, the key notion of this speech? The idea of global competence. Global competence is the capacity to examine local, global, and intercultural issues, to understand and appreciate the perspectives and the worldviews of others. This is the definition of OECD, and we took this definition as the base for developing in our institutions the global competence within our teacher education programs. You must consider that at the moment there is currently no authoritative international publication or report to exemplify and inform teacher educators on the effective integration of global competence into teacher education programs. So there is a risk. Our future teachers are often unaware of the need for global competence, and they are unskilled to integrate the teaching of such competencies within their curricula. For the reasons, 7 institutions are developing an European Erasmus Plus project named Global Competence in Teacher Education. You can see the logo of the institution involved: the University College in Leuven-Limburg in Belgium, the EFS Intercultural Programs, the University of Hull in England, the University of Applied Science in Hämeenlinna in Finland, the Hellenic Open University, the European Federation for Intercultural Learning, and of course the University of Genoa, Italy. The project has 2 main aims. The first one is to develop globally competent teacher educators, and secondly, to create a flexible training program for training teachers in order to develop, of course, global competence issues. What are, in the end, the perspectives to make global our teacher education programs? We know, of course, the international projects through activities of research, but also practice-based, and to implement and improve the exchange programs, both face-to-face, so in presence, but also virtual. Who are the persons who should be involved in the exchange programs? Of course, both teacher educators and trainee teachers. Both of them should experience different learning organizations and school systems. And that's important both for short and long periods. So I'm focusing my interest now for trainee teachers. Some of them can spend a long period with an Erasmus project, for instance, abroad, but also with short periods of 2-3 weeks in order to spend this time in the school abroad and develop the intercultural teaching. The final event of the project, named Global Competence in Teacher Education, will be held in my region, in my university town, Genoa, and also along the coast, precisely in the park of Cinque Terre. And I hope in March 2022 to meet a lot of colleagues, because we will be able to organize the Winter-Spring Conference of ATE. So I warmly invite you to visit our website ate.education. It's really easy to remember, and also to visit our Twitter account, our Facebook account, and if you want, you can also subscribe our mailing list to be updated for our activities. So I hope to meet you in person. In the meanwhile, we can meet through the online instruments. Thank you very much for listening to me, and if you have any curiosity or you would like to know anything else about our international programs, please contact me and I will be happy to answer you. Goodbye, and once again, thank you.